The massacre of Eden Prime. The control room was quiet. Too quiet. Commander Sarah Chen stared at the communication screen. The message from Eden Prime Colony had stopped 17 seconds ago. Just 17 seconds of screaming, explosions, and then nothing. "Play it again," she said to her assistant. The young man's hands shook as he pressed the button. The screen came alive with horror. Buildings burned. Strange purple ships filled the sky. A woman ran past the camera carrying her child. Behind her, something huge and dark followed. Then came the voice that would haunt Sarah forever. A dying colonist, his face covered in blood, looked straight at the camera. "They're eating our children," he whispered. "They're eating our—" The screen went black. Sarah's fist hit the table. Eden Prime was humanity's newest colony. 3 million people lived there. Families, children, scientists, farmers, all gone in 17 seconds. "Commander Chen," her assistant spoke quietly. "Earth Command is calling. Priority 1. She took a deep breath and answered. General Morrison's face appeared on the screen. The old soldier looked tired. No, not tired. He looked angry. "Sarah, you saw the message?" "Yes, sir. Eden Prime is gone. No survivors. The aliens left nothing." Sarah felt cold. "Who did this?" "We don't know yet. But Sarah—" Morrison paused. "This is not the first attack. 3 cargo ships disappeared last month. The mining station at Kepler 442 went dark 2 weeks ago. Someone is hunting us." The room felt smaller. Sarah remembered her history lessons. Humanity had met peaceful aliens before. The Zentari traders, the Mokari scientists. But this was different. This was war. "Sir, what are our orders?" Morrison's eyes turned hard. "Call the council. Emergency meeting in 1 hour. And Sarah, remember the old Earth Treaty." Sarah's blood ran cold. The old Earth Treaty, W's. Written 200 years ago after first alien contact, she remembered the words, "Never again shall humanity be prey. If threatened with extinction, all restrictions are removed." 1 hour later, the council room was full. Presidents, generals, and scientists from all human worlds joined by video. Everyone had seen the Eden Prime message. Everyone was angry. President Kumar spoke first. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are under attack. An unknown alien force has destroyed our colony. 3 million dead." The French general stood up. "We must respond. Send the fleet." "What fleet?" asked the Mars governor. "We have maybe 5,000 military ships. We don't even know how many enemies we face." Dr. Yang, the chief scientist, raised her hand. "I have information. Our sensors detected strange energy signatures from Eden Prime before it died. The computer matched them." She paused. "The energy signature belongs to the Zerath Empire." Everyone knew that name. The Zerath Empire controlled 10,000 worlds. Their military had millions of ships. They were giants. Humanity was an ant. "We cannot win," someone said. "We cannot hide," another replied. President Kumar stood slowly. "There is another option." The room went silent. Kumar looked at each face. "Project Sleeping Giant." Several gasps filled the room. Most council members didn't know about this project. It was beyond secret. 200 years ago, Kumar explained, our ancestors were not fools. After first contact, they knew this day might come, a day when humanity would face extinction, so they built something hidden. General Morrison took over. 500,000 warships, hidden in asteroid fields inside gas giants in dark space between stars, sleeping, waiting. Each ship carries weapons we promised never to build, planet killers, star destroyers, black hole generators. The Mars governor's face went pale. 500,000? That's impossible. President Kumar looked around the room one last time. The vote must be unanimous. If we activate the sleeping fleets, we declare total war. No rules, no mercy until they surrender. Do we wake the giants? One by one, every hand went up. Kumar nodded and turned to Morrison. General, send the signal. Activate Protocol Omega. Morrison typed a code into his computer. Across the galaxy, in the darkness between stars, lights began to turn on. 1 ship, 10 ships, 1,000 ships, 100,000 ships. 500,000 sleeping giants opened their eyes. In the corner of the screen, a message appeared from the first awakened ship. Battleship Vengeance Online. We remember Eden Prime. We are coming. Sarah Chen looked at the growing list of activated ships, each one named after a human tragedy, each one built for this moment. The Zerath think we are prey, she said quietly. They're about to learn we are something much worse. The screen showed the last message from Eden Prime again. The dying colonist, the burning city, the children's screams. We are humanity, Sarah whispered, and we just woke up. The sleeping giants awaken. Captain Marcus Riley floated in complete darkness. For 200 years, his ship had drifted here, powered down, invisible. Now, a single red light blinked on his console. The activation code. After 2 centuries of silence, humanity's secret was about to scream. Computer, Marcus said, his voice rough from cryo-sleep. Status report. Battleship Thunderchild responding to Protocol Omega. Location, Dark Space Sector 77B. Time in hibernation, 73,924 days. Crew revival in progress. Weapons, full capacity. Marcus smiled. The Zerath Empire had no idea what lived in the darkness. Meanwhile, on Zerath Prime, Supreme Commander Zektar laughed. His purple scales shook with amusement as he watched the human news broadcasts. They cry for their dead. Colony! He roared to his generals. 3 million humans gone, and they hold meetings, they vote, they talk. His second-in-command, Velmar, clicked his claws nervously. Supreme Commander, the humans have sent angry messages. They demand answers. Let them demand. Zektar's 4 eyes gleamed. We have 12 million warships. They have what? 5,000? 10,000 at most? He turned to his war council. The humans are cattle. We will farm them for food, as we did with the Altarians, the Mokari, and 45 other species. But Velmar was looking at his scanner, confused. Sir, I'm detecting something strange. What? Energy signatures, thousands of them, appearing from nowhere. In the asteroid belt of Sol system, something impossible happened. A massive asteroid suddenly split open. Inside was not rock, but metal. A battleship, larger than any human ship ever seen before, powered up its engines. The same thing happened in Jupiter's red storm. 10,000 ships hidden in the gas giant's atmosphere came online. Near Alpha Centauri, an entire moon turned out to be fake, a hollow shell hiding 50,000 warships. In deep space, where no stars shine, darker shapes moved against the darkness. Ships that had waited 2 centuries for this moment. Admiral Zhang stood on the bridge of humanity's flagship Nemesis. Around him, screens showed the awakening fleet. Report, he ordered. Sir, confirmation from all sectors. 200,000 ships online, 300,000 ships online, 400,000. Sir, we have 500,000 ships combat ready, another 50,000 in reserve. Zhang nodded. Every ship was a testament to human paranoia and preparation. Their ancestors had learned from Earth's history, never be caught defenseless again. Sir, his communication officer interrupted, we're receiving a message from the Zerath Empire. On screen appeared Zerath Ambassador Krell Ox, his tentacles writhing in what humans learned was laughter. Humans, you dare threaten the Zerath Empire? We who have conquered 10,000 worlds? We who feast on the weak? Send your little fleet. We will add Earth to our feeding worlds. Zhang didn't smile. Computer, show the ambassador our fleet positions. The tactical display appeared, visible to both sides. Dots began appearing, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. The dots kept multiplying. Krellox's tentacles stopped moving. This is a trick. Computer manipulation. No trick, Zhang said calmly. Humanity spent 2 centuries preparing for monsters like you. Every human child who died in accidents that weren't accidents. Every resource we said went to research, but went to shipbuilding. Every lie we told our own people, all for this moment. The dots kept appearing. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Krellox's purple color faded to gray. Impossible. Where did you hide them? Everywhere, Zhang replied. In places so dark your sensors couldn't see. In radiation fields so dense you never looked. We turned entire moons into ship factories. We hollowed out asteroids. We built in the space between spaces. 100,000, 450,000, 500,000. But the cost, Krellox whispered. 10 trillion credits. 20% of humanity's resources for 200 years. Our people lived harder lives so these ships could exist. They thought their taxes went to colonies and science. They went to weapons. Now Zhang did smile, but it wasn't pleasant. Your empire has 12 million ships spread across 10,000 worlds. That's 200 ships per world. We have 500,000 ships, and we're all coming for you. On the Zerath homeworld, Supreme Commander Zektar watched the human fleet numbers in shock. But then he noticed something else. The ship names. Vengeance for Eden Prime. Remembrance. Bear the children. 3 million souls. Never forget, never forgive. Child Eater's Doom. Each ship was named for the dead, each one a promise of revenge. Zektar's confident laugh was gone. Recall all fleets, every ship. Defend the home systems. Sir, Velmar said quietly, the humans, look at their weapon signatures. The scans showed impossible readings. Black hole generators, stellar collapse bombs, quantum erasers, weapons so terrible that galactic law banned them 5,000 years ago. They're not using legal weapons, Velmar whispered. On the human flagship, a young officer asked Admiral Zhang, Sir, these weapons, they're forbidden by every civilized species. Zhang turned to him. Lieutenant, they ate our children. Civilization ended when the first child screamed. We're not here to be civilized. We're here to be monsters to the monsters. The fleet began to move, not in formation like normal military ships. They moved like a swarm, like angry insects, like predators who had finally found their prey. Back on Thunderchild, Captain Marcus Riley looked at his crew, all volunteers. All had lost someone to alien attacks over the years. Not just Eden Prime, but a dozen other accidents humanity had suffered. Crew of Thunderchild, Marcus announced. For 200 years we slept. Now we hunt. The Zerath want to know what humans taste like? He paused. They're about to find out we taste like revenge. Space itself seemed to bend as 500,000 human ships jumped to faster than light speed. Their destination, Zerath border worlds. In his palace, Supreme Commander Zektar received reports from across the Empire. Panic, fear, border worlds begging for protection. How long until the humans arrive, he asked. 6 hours, Supreme Commander. Zektar looked at the tactical display. 500,000 angry red dots moving toward his empire. Each dot a ship full of humans who had nothing left to lose. For the first time in his 300-year life, Supreme Commander Zektar of the mighty Zerath Empire felt something new, fear. Send a message to all Zerath worlds, he ordered. The humans are coming, and I don't think they're coming to talk. In space, the human fleet jumped again. 5 hours now, then 4. The sleeping giants were fully awake, and they were hungry for justice. First blood. The Zerath commander stopped laughing when his scanners showed 500,000 human warships jumping into his system. Commander Gorthak had ruled the Zerath border world of Kelvaris for 50 years. He had eaten the flesh of 17 different species. He had never lost a battle. Today, he would lose everything. Sir, his tactical officer screamed, they're everywhere. Human ships dropping from hyperspace in all sectors. Gorthak's 4 eyes widened. His scanners were going insane. Red dots filled every screen, but something was wrong. The human ships weren't attacking. They were waiting. A message came through. A human face appeared. young, maybe 20 years old, a pilot. "Commander Gorthak," the human said calmly. "I am Lieutenant James Chen. My sister was on Eden Prime. She was 7 years old. Her name was Lily." Gorthak snarled. "I care nothing for your—" "She loved to paint," James continued, as if Gorthak hadn't spoken. "She sent me pictures every week. Flowers, birds, our mother's face." His voice never changed tone. "Your people ate her alive." Now Gorthak laughed. "Yes, as we will eat all humans. You are food, nothing more." James nodded slowly. "Computer, show them." Behind James, a wall became transparent. Gorthak saw something that made his heart stop. Missiles, thousands of them, but not normal missiles. Each one was black, seeming to eat the light around it. "Black hole bombs," James said simply. "One can destroy a moon. We have 10,000. Your world has 3 billion Zerath, military and civilian." He paused. "You have 60 seconds to surrender." "You would." "Can't dare. Galactic law forbids." 50 seconds. Gorthak turned to his fleet. "Attack! All ships!" 8,000 Zerath warships opened fire. Laser beams, plasma cannons, antimatter torpedoes, everything they had streamed toward the human fleet. The humans didn't dodge. They didn't need to. Something impossible happened. The Zerath weapons just disappeared. As they got close to human ships, they simply vanished. "What is this?" Gorthak screamed. On the human flagship, Admiral Jang watched calmly. "Quantum void shields, another gift from our 2 centuries of preparation. Your weapons fall into miniature pocket dimensions. They hit nothing." 30 seconds, James Chen said. But then something unexpected happened. A small voice came through the communications. A Zerath child. Please don't kill us. My name is Tekla. I'm 9 cycles old. I don't want to die." The human fleet paused. On every human ship, that small voice echoed. A child. Afraid. James Chen's face changed. For a moment his anger cracked. Admiral Jang opened a channel to all human ships. "Remember our code. We are not them. We do not kill children." He turned to the Zerath commander. "Gorthak, new terms. Surrender your military. Free your slave species. Your civilians will live." Gorthak saw his chance. "The humans are weak. They spare our children. Attack with—" He never finished. A single human ship, Thunderchild, jumped directly inside the Zerath formation. Captain Marcus Riley's voice boomed across all channels. "You want to see weakness? Watch this." Thunderchild fired once. Not at ships, at Calvaris's sun. The stellar disruptor beam was invisible to the eye, but its effect was not. The star flickered. Its color shifted from yellow to orange to red. "Your son will die in 3 hours, Marcus said, "unless you surrender in the next 10 seconds. 10. Panic exploded across Zerath channels. 9. Gorthak's officers begged him to surrender. 8. The star flickered again, colder. 7. "We surrender!" Gorthak screamed. "We surrender!" The star stabilized. The human fleet powered down weapons, but the humans weren't done. "All Zerath military personnel," Admiral Jang announced, "exit your ships, now." One by one, escape pods launched. Zerath soldiers floating in space, helpless. Human ships collected them all. Then something beautiful and terrible happened. The empty Zerath warships, all 8,000 of them, suddenly exploded, not from human weapons. The humans had activated the Zerath's own self-destruct systems. "How?" Gorthak whispered from his escape pod. "Your computer systems use quantum encryption," a human tech specialist replied. "We've had 200 years to crack it. We've been in your systems for decades, watching, learning, waiting." As Gorthak's pod was pulled into a human ship, he saw something that chilled him. The human soldiers weren't celebrating. They weren't happy. They were just cold, efficient. like machines built for one purpose. On Zerath Prime, Supreme Commander Zektar received the news. Kelvaris had fallen in less than 10 minutes, no human ships lost, 8,000 Zerath vessels destroyed. Supreme Commander, Velmar reported, voice shaking, we're getting reports from all border worlds. The humans are hitting everywhere at once. But sir, they're not killing civilians. They're taking military prisoners and freeing slave species. Zektar's scales turned pale. Freeing slaves? That's billions of beings. They'll turn against us. They already are, sir. The Mokari slaves on Helvix have risen up. The Altarian workers on Nexus Prime have taken the factories. Every species we conquered is rebelling. Then came worse news. Sir, look at this video from Kelvaris. The screen showed human soldiers giving food to Zerath children, a human medic treating wounded Zerath civilians, and then, the worst image of all, a human soldier carrying a Zerath child to safety from a collapsed building. They're protecting our children? Zektar couldn't understand. Velmar pulled up human history files. Sir, I've been studying them. The humans have a saying, we fight monsters without becoming monsters. They believe mercy is strength. Mercy, Zektar spat. Mercy is weakness. Is it? Velmar asked quietly. Look at the feed from Kelvaris now. The screen showed something unprecedented. Zerath civilians were helping human soldiers distribute food. A Zerath mother was crying, thanking a human for saving her child. And in the background, freed slave species were celebrating with both humans and Zerath civilians. They're turning our own people against us, Zektar realized, not with weapons, with kindness. Back on Thunderchild, Captain Marcus Riley received a priority message. It was from a Mokari slave they'd freed. Captain, my name is Solen. For 40 years I was forced to build ships for the Zerath. I want to tell you something. The Zerath fear only one thing, the Void Sanctum. What's that? Their most sacred place, a space station where they keep the preserved bodies of their ancestors. Trillions of Zerath consciousness stored digitally. If it's destroyed, they lose their afterlife. Marcus forwarded this to Admiral Zhang, who made a decision that would change everything. We go to Void Sanctum, not to destroy it, to protect it. What? His officers were shocked. We show them we could destroy their most sacred place, but choose not to. We prove we're better than them. The human fleet split. 400,000 ships continued taking border worlds. 100,000 headed for Void Sanctum. When they arrived, the Zerath defense fleet was waiting. 1 million ships. The biggest fleet engagement in galactic history was about to begin. But then, Admiral Zhang broadcast on all frequencies, not to the military, to every Zerath in the Empire. People of Zerath, we stand before your Void Sanctum. We could destroy it, erase your ancestors, your afterlife, your very souls. He paused. But we won't, because we are not you. We protect the innocent, even our enemies innocent. Your ancestors did nothing to us. They will be safe. The human fleet formed a defensive position around Void Sanctum, protecting it. On Zerath Prime, civilians watched in stunned silence. The humans were protecting their most sacred place. The monsters were showing mercy their own military never had. Supreme Commander Zektar watched his empire crumble, not from weapons, from an idea. The idea that strength could be kind, that mercy could be powerful. Sir, Velmar reported, 300 border worlds have surrendered, not to save themselves, but because they believe the humans will treat them better than we do. In space, young Lieutenant James Chen sat in his cockpit. He looked at a picture of his sister Lily, 7 years old, forever 7. I'm not becoming them, Lily, he whispered. I promise, we're winning the right way. A message came through from a Zerath child on a world they'd just liberated. Thank you for not killing us. Thank you for being different. James cried for the first time since Eden Prime, not from sadness, from something else. The knowledge that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden fleet or forbidden weapons. It was their choice to remain human, even in the face of monsters. The war was far from over, but in just 72 hours the Zerath Empire had lost more than territory. They'd lost the idea that cruelty was strength, and that loss would destroy them more surely than any weapon. The demons they created. The Zerath Empire ruled 10,000 worlds. In just 72 hours, they lost 3,000. But what happened next, no one expected. Supreme Commander Zektar stood in his war room watching his empire burn, not from weapons, from something worse, the truth. "Play it again," he ordered. The hologram showed a human soldier on conquered world Theros 7. The soldier was kneeling beside a dying Zerath warrior. The Zerath was begging, "Please, kill me quickly." The human removed his helmet. It was a woman, maybe 30, with tears in her eyes. "What's your name?" she asked. "Kralvek. I have eaten many of your kind." "I know," she said softly. She held his clawed hand. "Do you have family?" "A mate, 3 younglings. They think I'm a hero." The woman injected him with pain medication. "You're someone's father. That's what you are. Close your eyes. Think of them." Kralvek died peacefully. The human closed his 4 eyes gently, then stood and saluted his body. The recording ended. Zektar smashed the projector. "Propaganda! Lies!" "It's not," Velmar said quietly. "It's happening on every world. The humans are documenting everything. They're showing the galaxy who they really are, and who we really are." A new alert came through. Zektar's youngest general, Thurok, appeared on screen, but something was wrong. He wasn't wearing his military scales. He was dressed as a civilian. "Thurok, what is the meaning of this?" "I surrender, Supreme Commander, not to save myself, but because I've learned something." Thurok's 4 eyes were wet with tears, something Zerath warriors never showed. "I've been reviewing human history. Do you know what they call this war?" "What does it matter?" "They call it the Last Mercy War. Their military doctrine states that this is the last time they will show mercy to those who eat sentient beings. After us, any species that consumes intelligent life will be exterminated without question. So, don't you see, they're giving us a chance no one else will get. They're treating us better than we've ever treated anyone. I have eaten 37 species, Supreme Commander, and they still offered me surrender. They still treated my wounds. They still protected my family." The transmission cut. On the human flagship Nemesis, Admiral Zhang received an impossible message. "Admiral, this is Captain Riley. You need to see this. We've found something in the Zerath Central Database." The screen filled with data, files, videos, records going back thousands of years. "My God," Zhang whispered. 47 species, Admiral. The Zerath have completely consumed 47 intelligent species, not enslaved, eaten to extinction. The last one was the Yenti, 50 years ago. Population 8 billion, all gone. But that wasn't the worst part. "Admiral, look at this file. It's sealed, highest classification." Zhang opened it. Inside was a video from 3,000 years ago. It showed Zerath, but they looked different, smaller, gentler. They were herbivores, eating plants and fruits. Then the video showed first contact with a species called the Devourers. The Devourers attacked the peaceful Zerath, eating their children. The Zerath begged for mercy. None came. Until one Zerath scientist made a discovery. They could alter their own DNA, become predators, become the monsters. They did. They destroyed the Devourers. Then, drunk on their new power, they kept going. They became worse than what had hurt them. "They were victims once," Zhang said slowly. "They became the very evil that destroyed them." "Admiral," his communication officer interrupted, "we're receiving a priority signal. It's from inside Zerath Prime, from their capital city, civilians." On screen appeared not a military officer but a Zerath female, old by their standards. Behind her were thousands of Zerath civilians. "Humans," she said, her voice shaking. My name is Saravan. Was a teacher. I taught younglings for 200 years. I need to tell you something." She held up a small device. "This contains the names of every Zerath who has refused to eat sentient beings. There are millions of us. We've been hiding, pretending, afraid our own government would kill us. We've been waiting for someone to stop the horror." The crowd behind her held up signs in human standard. "We're sorry. Stop our military. Save us from ourselves." Jang stood frozen. "There are Zerath who don't support this?" Saravan continued. "The military takes our children at age 5, forces them to eat sentient flesh. If they refuse, they disappear. We've lost so many younglings who wouldn't become monsters." She started crying, a disturbing sight with 4 eyes. "Please, the humans we saw protecting our children, treating our wounded, saving our sacred places. You're what we used to be, what we want to be again." The transmission ended. Jang made a decision that would define humanity forever. All ships, new orders. We're not conquering the Zerath, we're liberating them. From themselves. On Zerath Prime, Zektar received reports that made his scales turn white. "Supreme Commander, the humans have broadcast Saravan's message to all our worlds. Civilian uprisings on 4,000 planets. They're not fighting us. They're just refusing to eat sentient beings anymore. They're starving themselves." "Then let them starve." "Sir, the humans are dropping food supplies, plant-based protein, synthetic meat, enough to feed our entire population, for free." "It's poisoned." "No, sir. Our civilians are eating it. They're crying with joy. They say it tastes like freedom." Then came the worst news. "Supreme Commander, your son is here to see you." Zektar's eldest son, Morgan, entered. The pride of the Zerath military, the youngest warrior to ever achieve the rank of fleet commander. He wasn't wearing his uniform. "Father," Morgan said, "I've eaten 300 sentient beings. I remember each one. They begged, they cried, they called for their mothers." His voice broke. "I can't do it anymore. You're weak." "No, Father, I'm free." Morgan placed his military scales on the table. "The humans showed me something. Strength isn't about what you can destroy. It's about what you choose to protect." "Guards, arrest him!" The guards didn't move. "They've already chosen, Father. We all have." Outside, the sky filled with human ships. But they weren't attacking. They were deploying something else. Massive screens, visible from the ground. On the screens, human children appeared. Children from Eden Prime, recorded before the massacre. They were playing, laughing, painting, the same video of James Chen's sister Lily. Then, Zerath children appeared beside them, playing the same games, laughing the same way. The message was clear. Children are children, all innocent, all deserving of protection. Supreme Commander Zektar watched his empire dissolve. His own guards removed their weapons. His generals abandoned their posts. His son stood against him. But the final blow came from the last being he expected. "Supreme Commander," Velmar said, removing his own military insignia, "I've served you for 100 years. I've eaten countless beings on your orders, but I was there when we found the human colony on Eden Prime." He pulled up a video. "You ordered us to eat the children first, to break the adults' spirits. But you didn't see what I saw." The video showed a human mother throwing herself between Zerath soldiers and her child, a father offering himself to be eaten if they'd spare his daughter, children holding hands as they faced death together. "They died with more honor than we've ever lived with," Velmar said. "The humans could destroy us all. Instead, they're trying to save us from the monsters we've become." Zektar stood alone. Around him, his empire of 10,000 years crumbled in hours, not from military defeat, from mirror held up to show them what they'd become. On very Zerath world, the same scene played out. Civilians choosing to starve rather than eat sentient beings, human ships arriving with food, former slaves and Zerath working together. The Zarath military, once 12 million strong, simply dissolved. Soldiers went home to their families. Generals became farmers. The greatest military force in the galaxy ended not with a bang, but with a whisper, "We're sorry." In space, Admiral Zhang received a final message from Captain Sarah Chen on Earth. "Admiral, the Galactic Council is watching. Every species in the galaxy sees what we're doing. The Zentari, the Makari, even species we haven't met yet. They're calling us the shepherd species, the ones who protect the flock." Zhang looked at his tactical display. 3 million humans had died on Eden Prime. In response, humanity had conquered 3/4 of the Zarath Empire without killing a single civilian. "Sarah, what do you think the children of Eden Prime would say?" Sarah was quiet for a moment. "I think Lily Chen would be painting pictures of human and Zarath children playing together, and she'd be proud we chose to be better than our pain." On Zarath Prime, Supreme Commander Zektar sat alone in his empty palace. His empire gone, his military dissolved, his own family turned against him. A human soldier entered, young James Chen. "Come to kill me?" Zektar asked. "No," James said. "I came to tell you something. You killed my sister. She was 7. I've hated you every second since." He paused. "But she wouldn't want me to become you. So I choose to be what she believed humans could be. Better." He placed a container of food, plant-based, on the table. "You have a choice too. Starve in your hatred, or eat and maybe someday earn forgiveness." James left. Zektar sat alone, staring at the food. For the first time in his 300-year life, he had to make a choice. That wasn't about power or conquest. It was about who he wanted to be. Outside, the Zarath Empire that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia was gone. In its place, something new was being born, not through violence, but through choice. The demons the Zarath had created, humanity's rage, had become angels of mercy. And that mercy was destroying the Zarath more completely than any weapon ever could. It was destroying who they were, so they could become who they should have been. Humanity's choice. Standing in the ruins of the Zarath throne room, Admiral Zhang had to make the choice, genocide or mercy. But the choice became harder when he saw what was in the basement. "Admiral," Captain Marcus Riley's voice shook over the comm. "You need to see this. Below the palace. We've found them." Zhang descended into the darkness. The smell hit him first. Death, but not old death. Fresh. The room was massive. Cage after cage stretched into shadows. Inside each cage, children. Not Zarath children. Human children. "They're from Eden Prime," Dr. Sarah Chen whispered, her medical scanner trembling in her hand. "Somehow alive. 3,000 children. They were saving them. For later." A small voice came from the nearest cage. "Are you real? Are you really human?" A little girl, maybe 8 years old, pressed against the bars. Her name tag read, Sophie Martinez, Eden Prime, School District 7. Zhang's hands shook as he opened the cage. Sophie fell into his arms, crying. "They said they were keeping us fresh. They said our parents were already gone. They said—" "Shh," Zhang held her. "You're safe now. You're all safe." But then Sophie said something that changed everything. "The nice Zarath tried to help us." "What?" "Some Zarath. They brought us food, water, the purple one with 3 eyes. She sang to us when we cried. She said she was sorry. She said not all Zarath are bad." Zhang's communicator buzzed. "Admiral, we have a situation. Supreme Commander Zektar is requesting immediate communication. He says it's about the children." On the main screen, Zektar appeared, but he looked different, broken. His scales were dull, his 4 eyes dim. "Admiral Zhang, you found them. You kept children as food storage." Zhang's voice was ice. "No," Zektar said quietly. "I kept them as insurance. But Admiral, there's something you don't know. Someone has been protecting them, feeding them, keeping them alive against my orders. A figure stepped into view beside Zektar. A female Zerath with 3 eyes instead of 4. A genetic defect that usually meant execution in their society. "My name is Lyravan," she said. "I am Zektar's daughter." Gasps echoed through the human fleet. Zektar had a defective daughter and kept her alive? "I've been secretly protecting the human children," Lyravan continued, "along with thousands of other Zerath who believe our ways are wrong. We call ourselves the Awakened. We've been sabotaging the military for decades, freeing prisoners, helping slaves escape." She held up a datapad. "This contains the location of 17 other sites, human prisoners, other species too, all alive, all protected by the Awakened. We've saved over 1 million beings." Zhang studied her. "Why should I believe you?" Lyravan did something unprecedented. She cut her own hand, letting purple blood drip. "In our culture, blood oath is sacred. I swear on my blood, everything I say is truth. We've been waiting for someone strong enough to stop our own people. You are that someone." "Father didn't know," she turned to Zektar. "I used his codes, his authority. I'm the real traitor to the Empire, and I have 40 million Zerath with me." Zektar stared at his daughter. You betrayed me?" "No, Father. I saved you from becoming completely lost." Suddenly, alarms blared across all human ships. "Admiral! Unknown vessels dropping from hyperspace. Configuration unknown." Space itself seemed to tear open. Ships emerged, but they weren't like anything in any database. Organic-looking, like living creatures made of metal and flesh. A transmission came through. The screen showed beings that made everyone freeze. They looked like ancient Earth demons. Red skin, horns, eyes of fire. "We are the Devourers," the lead creature spoke. "We have returned." Zhang's mind raced. The Devourers, the species that had turned the peaceful Zerath into monsters 3,000 years ago. They weren't extinct. "We've been watching from dark space," the Devourer continued, "waiting for the Zerath to weaken. Now we reclaim our feeding grounds, starting with Earth." The Devourer fleet was massive, 50 million ships, each one biomechanical, alive, hungry. On Zerath Prime, Zektar's face went white. No, they were supposed to be dead. We killed them all." "You killed our scouts," the Devourer laughed. "You became like us to defeat us. How poetic. Now you're weak with mercy and we return to feast on all." Admiral Zhang faced an impossible choice. Defend Earth and humanity or protect the Zerath who had just surrendered? Then, something unprecedented happened. Lyravan spoke to Zhang. "Admiral, I request something unthinkable. Give us back our weapons. Let us fight beside you." "You just surrendered." "We surrendered to you, to justice, to mercy, not to be eaten by the monsters who created us." She looked at her father. "Father, tell them about the protocol." Zektar's eyes widened. "No. We swore never to use it." "Tell them." Zektar's voice was hollow. 3,000 years ago, when we first defeated the Devourers, we created a weapon. The Void Bomb. It doesn't destroy matter. It destroys the concept of matter. It erases things from ever having existed. "We have one," Lyravan said, "hidden in the quantum realm, but it requires both human and Zerath DNA to activate. Our ancestors made it that way, hoping for a future where we might work with another species." The Devourer fleet began moving toward Earth, and toward Zerath Prime, toward everyone. Zhang made the choice that defined humanity's future. "All Zerath military personnel, your surrender is temporarily refused. Take back your weapons. Stand with us." Across the galaxy, 12 million Zerath warriors heard the call, and for the first time in their history, they cheered for humans. The battle of 3 species began in the Nexus system, halfway between Earth and Zerath Prime. Human ships with their impossible shields, Zerath vessels with their plasma cannons. Against them the Devourers, ships that ate energy, that fed on fear, that grew stronger with every kill. Young James Chen flew beside a Zerath pilot named Krevar. "Human," Krevar said. "I must tell you, I was at Eden Prime. I participated." James's finger hovered over the fire button. He could kill this Zerath easily. "But I also saved your sister's drawings," Krevar continued. "The ones of flowers. I couldn't destroy beauty. Even then, I knew we were wrong." James's anger battled with something else. "After this battle, if we survive, you'll stand trial." "Yes, gladly. Justice is better than what we had." They fought side by side, human and Zerath, former enemies against ancient evil. The Devourers were winning. For every ship destroyed, two more seemed to appear. They were adapting, evolving, becoming immune to weapons. Then Sophie Martinez, the little girl from the cage, now on the medical ship, said something that changed everything. "The song! The nice Zerath lady taught us a song. She said it was important." She began to sing. It was an ancient Zerath language, but somehow everyone understood. When darkness comes to eat the light, when hope seems lost to endless night, the different ones must join as one, to burn together like the sun. Lyravan heard it over comms. "The awakening song, our resistance anthem." She turned to her father. "Father, it's time." Zektar looked at Admiral Zhang on the screen. "Human, I have eaten your kind. I have destroyed worlds. I am a monster." He paused. "But I choose to die as something else, as someone my daughter can forgive." Zhang understood. "The void bomb. Where is it?" "In my bloodstream," Zektar revealed. "I am the bomb. I've been carrying it for 300 years. It needs human DNA to activate. Admiral, will you give me the honor of redemption?" Zhang didn't hesitate. He transported directly to Zektar's throne room, face to face, the human who chose mercy, the Zerath who chose monsters. "My 7-year-old sister believed anyone could be good," Zhang said. "Let's prove her right." They clasped hands, human and Zerath. Blood mixed with blood. Zektar's body began to glow. "Tell my daughter. Tell her she saved me. Not from you, from myself." "Wait," Zhang said. "The blast radius will only affect Devourer DNA. The weapon knows the difference between those who choose evil and those who choose change." Zektar smiled. A terrifying sight with Zerath features, but genuine. "Humans, you did what we couldn't. You stayed good even when it hurt. That's real strength." He turned to Lyravan on the screen. "Daughter, lead our people, better than I did." Then to Zhang, "Get your people clear. You have 30 seconds." Zhang transported back. All human and Zerath ships jumped to minimum safe distance. Supreme Commander Zektar, monster of the galaxy, eater of children, destroyer of worlds, stood alone in his throne room. But in his final moment, he wasn't any of those things. He was a father doing one good thing. The void bomb activated. Reality itself screamed. Where the Devourer fleet had been suddenly wasn't. Not destroyed. Never was. 50 million ships, erased from existence, from history, from ever having been. The only trace was a message burned into space itself. Some monsters choose to become heroes. 1 week later, in the restored Eden Prime colony, a ceremony unlike any in galactic history took place. Humans and Zerath stood together, former enemies, now allies. The freed slave species were there too, 47 civilizations united. Admiral Zhang stood before them all. In his arms, Sophie Martinez. Beside him, Lyravan, now leader of the reformed Zerath Republic. "We faced a choice," Zhang said. "Genocide or mercy. We chose harder. We chose justice with compassion, punishment with hope. We chose to believe that even monsters can become heroes." Lyravan spoke next. "We Zerath face trials for our crimes. We accept this. but we also accept humanity's gift, the chance to become what we should have been. Then Sophie spoke, her child's voice carrying across worlds. My teacher on Eden Prime told us something before the end. She said hatred is easy, love is hard, but love is stronger. She looked at Lyravan. You saved us when your own father would have eaten us. That was love, and love won. The ceremony ended with something unprecedented. Human and Zarath children playing together, former slaves teaching Zarath how to grow food instead of hunting it, soldiers becoming farmers, killers becoming protectors. James Chen stood beside Krevar, who was about to face trial for Eden Prime. I'm ready for justice, Krevar said. The court already decided, James replied. Life sentence, but not prison, service. You'll spend your life protecting the species you once hunted, teaching Zarath children why it was wrong, living with what you did, but working to prevent it happening again. Krevar's 4 eyes wept. That's harder than death. Yes, but it's also hope. My sister Lily would have wanted to hope. Across the galaxy, a message spread, not through official channels, but through whispers, through stories, through children's songs. Humanity had 500,000 warships. They could have destroyed the Zarath. Instead, they destroyed the idea that cruelty was strength. They proved that mercy required more courage than revenge. The Zarath Empire fell in 5 days, but it took only one moment of kindness to begin building something better. In the quantum realm, where thoughts became reality, a new legend was born, of the species that was hurt, that grew angry, that built weapons of unimaginable power, and chose to use them to protect rather than punish. Earth became the galaxy's guardian, not through fear, but through a simple message carved on the memorial at Eden Prime. 3 million died here. 50 million were saved because of their sacrifice. We are humanity. We choose to be better than our pain. We choose hope. And in a small corner of that memorial, a child's drawing was preserved in quantum crystal, 7-year-old Lily Chen's last artwork, humans and aliens holding hands under a rainbow. Below it, written in 100 languages, including Zarath, this is what we fight for, not revenge, but her dream. The war was over. The real work of peace had begun. And somewhere in the void between stars, the echo of humanity's choice rippled outward, reaching civilizations yet unknown, carrying a simple truth. The strongest beings in the universe are those who choose mercy when they have every reason to choose revenge. Humanity had awakened not as conquerors, but as what the galaxy needed most. Shepherds among the stars, protectors of the innocent, proof that love was stronger than hate.